Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. His Majesty King Abdullah begins an official visit to Canada tomorrow for talks in Ottawa with Governor General David Johnston and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. His Majesty departed today accompanied by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Hussein. Talks with Canadian officials are expected to deal with forging closer bilateral cooperation as well as ongoing regional and international developments. His Royal Highness Prince Faisal Al Hussein was sworn in as regent. A senior Lebanese security official said the 8 Lebanese soldiers held captive by Daesh since 2014 are almost certainly dead now. The official spoke a few hours after a ceasefire on the Syria-Lebanon border was announced to discuss the soldiers' fate. The ceasefire halted the fighting at the Syria-Lebanon border, where Daesh terrorists have been fighting on 2 fronts, with the Lebanese army on one front and with Hezbollah and the Syrian army on the other. 2 offensives by the Lebanese army and by Hezbollah and the Syrian army began simultaneously a week ago. Both offensives advanced towards the frontier from opposite sides, and the battle is said to be nearing victory. The Syrian army has also agreed to a deal between Daesh and Hezbollah that allows the transfer of the terrorists from the Syria-Lebanon border into eastern Syria. A military statement said the deal came after the successes of the Syria army and Hezbollah in the western Qalamun province, but it did not specify whether it includes Daesh terrorists on both sides of the border. To Iraq, and after 8 days of fighting, Iraqi forces have retaken almost all of Tal Afar, Daesh's stronghold in the country's northwest. The Iraqi military said all 29 neighborhoods in Tal Afar city were taken back from the terrorist group. Elite forces liberated the heart of the city yesterday and raised the national flag on top of the citadel building. However, fighting continued in Al-Adayda, a few kilometers northwest of the city, where terrorists who fled the district's city center were hiding out. Iraqi forces are waiting to retake the area before declaring complete victory in the offensive. A Royal Air Force plane flew to Yemen carrying 15 tons of humanitarian aid to help alleviate the suffering of Yemenis. The shipment was organized in collaboration with the Jordan Hashemite Charity Organization and the King Salman Center for Relief and Humanitarian Aid. Meanwhile, the United Nations is trying to create the conditions for Hodeidah Port and Sana'a Airport to be used for deliveries of humanitarian relief. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, speaking after talks in Kuwait, said the Yemeni people are suffering in a terrible way and both the port and airport need to operate fully. A migrant deal has been signed between Germany and Egypt to stop the flow of illegal immigration to Europe. The deal was signed in Berlin between German Foreign Minister Sigmar Gabriel and his Egyptian counterpart Sameh Shoukry. The German government has repeatedly raised the issue of signing migrant deals with African countries to deal with the root causes of illegal migration. At a joint press conference, Gabriel said the agreement on bilateral dialogue on immigration is proof of good cooperation, not only between Germany and Egypt, but also Europe and North Africa. Shoukry also voiced satisfaction over the agreement as part of a broader protocol between the 2 countries.
The protocol will enter into force within a few days to cap the extensive efforts by both governments in order to put in place a legal framework that regulates the status and operation of the German foundations in Egypt.
Military bands from around the world staged a colorful performance on Red Square in front of the Kremlin in the heart of Moscow last night. The festival, called Spasskaya Bashnya, or Kremlin's Savior Tower, featured bands play a wide range of music, from classical pieces and military marches to popular modern tunes. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the colorful festival, which brought to Moscow over 1,000 performers from 14 countries of Europe and Asia. To the United States, where Hurricane Harvey continued to pound southeastern Texas with flooding described as catastrophic in Houston, forcing residents to flee to roofs and higher ground. The hurricane dumped more than 50 centimeters of rain in the Houston area amid warnings of life-threatening flooding in southeastern Texas. More than 1,000 people were rescued overnight as Harvey knocked out power to more than 200,000 people, ripped off roofs, snapped trees, triggered tornadoes and flash floods. The most powerful to hit Texas in more than 50 years, the hurricane has killed at least 2 people, with the death toll expected to rise as more floods, tidal surges and tornadoes are expected. Economic losses are estimated at more than $2 billion so far. In our sports news, a ruthless Floyd Mayweather did exactly what was expected of him when he outclassed mixed martial arts champion Conor McGregor in their crossover bout. He secured a final victory in all illustrious career that ends with an unmatched 50-0 record and immediately announced his retirement. The 10th round technical knockout allowed the American to pull clear of heavyweight legend Rocky Marciano's 49-0 mark for most wins without a loss or draw. Not only that, Mayweather set himself up for a handsome paycheck expected to exceed $200 million. As for McGregor, his $30 million purse for the fight is 10 times his previous best disclosed purse from the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Over 900 runners from around the world competed in a race to the top of Beijing's tallest building. Athletes climbed up the 82 floors and 2,041 stairs of Beijing's 330-meter-tall China World Tower, part of a series of vertical races across the globe. Poland's Piotr Lobodzinski was the winner of this year's male vertical run, while the women's winner was defending champion Susie Walsham of Australia. This was the 5th time the vertical run has been held at the China World Tower. And finally, a look at the weather. Normal summer conditions prevail across the kingdom tonight with northwesterly moderate winds. As for tomorrow, it continues to be relatively hot with a high of 31 degrees in Amman, while further south the Gulf of Aqaba can expect temperatures to reach 40 degrees with northerly moderate winds and calm seas. And that'll be all for tonight. I'm Alia Tuqan. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant evening.